You will find some components in this story that are very rare to hear about. All of these things are cult-related. Illuminati, cult, time distortion. You will hear all of this in this story. This story belongs to my younger brother's school friend. He was slightly senior to him, but was like a friend. Obviously, I cannot disclose his real name, so I will give him a fake name. Let's call him Joy. Joy moved to Canada during the coronavirus time to pursue his bachelor's degree. From what I was told, this story is from Toronto. I do not know the exact suburb because I live in Sydney, Australia, and I do not have much knowledge about Canadian areas. Joy moved to Canada during the pandemic. Everyone knows students were going through a very bad time financially. Jobs were not available. Restaurants were closed. The hospitality industry was suffering. Many students from the African continent were doing food delivery jobs. Joy was also doing delivery work. He was working for a pizza company, and the company had given him a scooter. Normally, he worked until 10:30 p.m. and then went home. One night, after completing his last order at 10:30 p.m., he was packing up to leave when he received another notification for a final order. He saw that the tip was only $2. He thought, who leaves $2? It was a bit far and in an isolated area, but he decided to go because it was the end of the day and he wanted to earn more. He checked the location on the map. It was a remote area with very few buildings. When he reached there around 10:30 p.m., he saw only one old red brick building. The surrounding area had empty parking spaces and a cafe that was closed at night. He parked his scooter and went inside. There was an elevator. He checked the order details again. It showed that a woman had placed the order from the 13th floor. He entered the elevator and pressed 13. When the elevator doors opened, he saw a very long corridor. It was extremely cold that night. He noticed something strange. The entire 13th floor had only 2 apartments. Just 2 flats on such a large floor. That felt very odd. Because of the severe cold, he started walking back and forth in the corridor to warm himself. While walking, he checked the time. It was 11:45 p.m. While walking, he noticed that the door of the other apartment was open. Warm air was coming out. In that extreme cold, the warm air felt comforting. He moved closer to the door to feel more warmth. The closer he went, the warmer it felt. He stood right in front of the open door. Out of curiosity, he looked inside. He said he was not prepared for what he saw. Inside, he saw 2 people. They were wearing white robe-like garments, similar to long Middle Eastern robes. One of them was a woman with open hair. On both of their cheeks, there were green painted triangles with an eye inside each triangle. He said it looked exactly like the Illuminati symbol, a triangle with an eye inside. The paint was dark green and clearly visible on their faces. Then he noticed something even more shocking. Both of them were levitating in the air, about 2 or 3 feet above the ground. They were floating. He tried to process what he was seeing. Then he looked around inside the apartment and experienced another extreme shock. The entire apartment interior looked like a desert. Like the desert in Alberta's Badlands. Sand everywhere. It did not look like a flat at all. It looked like another world. The 2 human-like beings were floating in that desert-like space. He tried to hold himself together. He heard a voice inside telling him to run. He slowly tried to place the pizza boxes on the ground and leave quietly. The moment he tried to put them down, both figures turned toward him and started floating toward him. He threw the pizza boxes and ran toward the elevator. He pressed the elevator button. The doors opened. He went inside and kept praying for the doors to close. The figures were almost reaching him. Just as they were very close, the doors shut. The elevator started going down. When he reached the ground floor and stepped outside, he experienced another shock. It was bright daylight. The cafe was open. People were sitting outside drinking coffee and reading newspapers. Elderly people were walking. It looked like late morning. He was confused. He had arrived at night, parked his scooter, gone upstairs for barely a few minutes, and now it was daytime. He checked his phone. The time was 11:45 a.m. Almost noon. He had gone upstairs at 11:45 p.m. Now it was 11:45 a.m. 12 hours had passed. His phone was flooded with hundreds of missed calls, from parents, relatives, friends, unknown numbers, even local police in Toronto. There were voice messages asking if he was safe and telling him to report to the nearest police station. His family had been searching for him. He called a friend and asked him to come pick him up because he felt he might faint. His friend took him to the local police station to inform them he was safe. He developed a high fever afterward. When he recovered after a few days, he told his friends everything. They were in complete shock. How could 10 minutes turn into 12 hours? His delivery company confirmed that his profile was active until 10:30 p.m. and then went offline. His social media presence had disappeared after 10:30 p.m. If anyone searched his name online, nothing appeared. It was as if he did not exist. His friends took him to a local church in Toronto. Some people suggested he might have taken drugs. He felt deeply offended because he was a practicing person and had never even smoked. One nun called a religious scholar who later told him that the effect on him was life-threatening and he should not try to investigate it further. Curiosity remained. Some friends took him to meet a former university senior who practiced occult studies in Montreal. Before they even explained the story, the man said he already knew what had happened, but could not speak about it. He told him to go to Los Angeles next month to meet a higher practitioner who might answer his questions. Joy refused and returned to Canada, later changing his city for safety. A relative took him to meet an occult practitioner in Vancouver. The man became excited and said Joy had been chosen. He said Joy was selected as part of a long spiritual ritual, and through him, they intended to complete years of practice. Joy felt fear and left immediately. He now lives a very low-profile life, surrounded only by family and close friends. He fears that those beings may still be searching for him. Later, some of his friends returned to that same building in Toronto to investigate. They did not take Joy with them. They entered the elevator and discovered there was no 13th floor button at all. The buttons went only up to 12. They went to the 12th floor and saw that it had many apartments on both sides, not just 2. The description did not match at all. The building structure was completely different from what Joy had described. Joy insists he has never taken drugs and has always maintained good character. He experienced trauma and symptoms similar to post-traumatic stress. He even dropped a semester to recover and visit his family.